Digital media allows publishers from all sizes to be in the same place. So publishers in the digital arena are the same size, and this is a huge advantage for everyone, and we are in that place.
The most rewarding achievement is people. The people are the ones that really get the benefit from our work. For us, it's very exciting to get to work in these projects that change how people think, that change how people see the world, and having an impact on that, it's very satisfying for us. When we did Blanco, we realized that the digitization of literature is a more complex process than everybody else thinks.
We come from the software development industry, so when we went to the Fondo de Cultura Económica for the first time to talk about Blanco, we were meeting with the director, with the Octavio Paz curator, and a few other directors.
It's a very interesting process in listening to a person that knows a lot about the author and his work, and realize that for 5 minutes we didn't understand a single word of what he was saying. We said something's wrong with our process. The lesson that we found in that moment is that we need to integrate people from those worlds and not just the technology world. That's when people from literature, people from exhibition design and other cultural industries coming into our process to enrich it. We were put in a situation where the curator and the experts were really close to us, and we had access to them, to talk to them, to discuss with them some of our ideas, to see if the product that we were envisioning was in the same direction that Octavio Paz would have wanted.
Achieving successfully this bridge between the cultural social people and the developing designing team, the journey started in terms of the process of designing and developing. Just to give you an idea, this book, this poem was written by Paz when he was living in India. So the idea is to have one single page with the whole poem, and it has 23 different forms of reading. So at this point it was okay, this looks very interesting for an iPad because you have an endless page. But how do you make this into an iPad and keep the author's main idea?
There's a lot of things that Octavio Paz mentions about the poem and how it should be read, how it should be interacted with. It contains instructions on how to make it into a multimedia experience. Having read the actual book, which is this one, and also the explanation, which is thicker, it was really interesting to start working on the design. So we have to come up with an intuitive and easy to use interface for people. So we started on different concepts for user interface navigation, how to navigate in different interpretations. For example, the visual discs that you can interact with, or the pieces of music or other writings. That was one challenge. But the other big challenge was the graphic line. We didn't have any reference. Octavio Paz talks about the creation of language, he talks about the universe, he talks about a lot of things in life, but in a very clean way. So we try to extract those feelings and put them into our graphic line. So we got to a point in which the best idea for Blanco was to go to the very simple idea, to go with simplicity and minimalism. It's all in grays, it's very clean typography, very clean icons, because that's really the spirit of Blanco.
At the end, this app or these AppBooks we are talking about are containers. And are containers that have a strong piece of masterwork, but we can put information around it. What we have is an audiovisual, we have multimedia content, pieces of video and audio, of text. We realize it's very complex. So at that point, we have to edit a lot of content.
Editing is a major part of the process. A lot of the changes that we had were not about design or concept or features or even programming. It was more about where commas are missing, where the font is not the right size, where the audio volume is not the correct one, where the video format is not correct. We actually had to analyze the minutes and minutes of the narrations of each of the interpretations of the poem, and then see where each of the words was pronounced at which second to synchronize the text of the poem with the audio. That's the kind of very specific work that you have to do when editing each of the contents. That aspect of a project, if we don't take it seriously, it can kill you.
And this was a very interesting experience because 1 week before the public launch of Blanco by the Ministry of Culture, we had a meeting with her and she said that this was an infamy. And if this wasn't the graphic line or the visual effect we wanted to have, from her point of view, we were in a big trouble.
And so we came back from Mexico City and we got together with the team and we discussed her point of view and what we had researched. And we made some changes on the interface, which weren't really huge changes, really. It was just small details that we hadn't realized, and that's how we published it at the end. Blanco was a huge success. It got 14,000 downloads so far. So that means that 14,000 people out there are, in a way, changed the way they think because of this kind of literature. It's a very hard fact that there were more downloads than printed copies, because that means the reach of culture is a lot bigger than it was possible before.
Und genau das ist Manuvo. Wir wollen sagen, sehen wir uns auf der Frankfurter Buchmesse im Oktober. Also bis bald. Tschüss.
I hope you found this information helpful. Please feel free to click on any other video.